morning, internet. It's me again. In this period of isolation, quarantine, call it what you will, for this coronavirus pandemic, I thought I'd change it up a bit from my usual stuff and just film a little vlog with a little story for you, which is the most far-fetched thing, and it is the time I played football for England. Now, I mean, I did play in my younger days, dare I say, like school, university, sure, but I'm not very good. I've got the brain for it, I just never had the body for it. I mean, 10 years of smoking didn't really help. But to hurry along is I used to work for a company which was part of a global brand, if you will, and every year they had a football tournament for each of their subsidiaries. So basically there was teams from, well, I say around the globe, it was from around Europe, but the company I worked for was one of two who were based in England, and the other company in England couldn't fulfill a team, so they never entered. So we went over to Austria. The training was quite interesting because we kind of looked a bit like a pub team. It didn't look like a team of fit young men. It was a load of guys who just enjoyed football, and that was great. Training was quite interesting because it was very intense. We were playing like it was the World Cup final, like all the time. There was absolutely savage tackles going in. But unfortunately, in the build-up to it, we were going to go out in the September. In the June, I had a collision with a good friend of mine who is significantly bigger than me. And what happened was, in a goal line clearance, he fell on top of me, and I actually broke two ribs. I broke one across the length and one down. Now this was very painful. I remember going into A&E in me full kit, and I remember they said, "Oh, how did you do it?" And I'm sat there in my full football kit, and I was thinking, it's not top notch sarcasm, but yeah, I mean they did an X-ray, and I thought that was it for me. But you know, I turned up to training still all the time. I couldn't play, but like I said, I've got this. And where I watch a lot of football, understand a lot of football, I was quite analytical, thought about, you know, I still want to help the team. I still want to be a part of it. So I was actually quite analytical. I was sat there with my notes. I used to make notes and on how we used to play. And I'll tell you what, you know, I thought we weren't bad. About 2 weeks beforehand, I remember when we like booked the flights out there, I actually started playing again. You know, I wasn't fit, I wasn't up to pace at all, but I can read a game of football. I just can't get there. But nevertheless, you know, I'm not terrible. You know, there's a lot of worse people out there I've seen. So we went out there, and I've got to be honest, it was the Austrian subsidiary who organised it all really looked after us. They get, you know, I remember they had a delegate which came to our hotel the night before. He gave us all baseball caps, which was really cool, and I thought they were just so welcoming. Austria as a country, I mean, there's not a country I'd, you know, ever visited, certainly. I mean, I don't really do skiing anyway, and that's the most reason why people go to Austria. But yeah, it's a beautiful country. It's really nice. And they didn't have a smoking ban there either. It was really weird seeing people sparking up in the middle of a bar. But anyway, the day came. I remember we got in a coach, went to the stadium. Now this was in a place called Pasching, which is just outside of a place in Linz in North Austria, and it was FC Pasching Stadium, which hosted some of the football. We were lucky that our group games, it was separate, and they had that many teams we could separate into groups like the World Cup. And yeah, we ended up in this stadium. I think it fitted about 3,000-4,000 seats. I mean, there wasn't 3,000 people there to watch this, but you know, there was enough that you felt like you were really in the stadium. And I mean, there's a very small amount of footage here of me playing. I've got a lot of photographs which actually prove I was actually there. It was quite cool. I mean, the kit we had was it kind of had this red sort of to do at the top here, And it was quite cool, and it was we all had our names and numbers on the back, which was awesome. It really made you actually feel like a damn professional. I mean, I took loads of photos. I mean, but yeah, it was even though I wasn't fit, I still felt that my position at right back was really, really mine. And we ended up having like a self-elected manager. Now, well, maybe I wasn't part of this democratic process, but I don't remember anyone saying putting him in charge, but he kind of just seized control of the team, if you will. And it was just sort of like, it wasn't very democratic, I've got to be honest. It was quite disappointing because there was a large element of cronyism to the team selections. Now, I wasn't one of his chums, so I didn't really get a look in at all. It was the guy who did actually start in the sort of right back berth, which is my preferred position, this position I've always played since the whole time I played football. Couldn't really read the game. He's a lovely guy. He's good, good friend of mine, but headless chicken is the best way I can describe it. And I was thinking, him getting selected ahead of me, couldn't really read offsides, and as usual, when you're not playing, you get relegated to linesman. I did actually manage to play 3 games. Unfortunately, I did get injured through my own stupidity, because I tried to get up too quickly and I tweaked a hamstring, and that meant I couldn't sprint. Now, I don't have ball skills. I'm not Maradona. I can't dribble with it. So my kind of thing I always fell back on was pace. But the thing I found in all three matches, which I was actually directly involved in, I was played completely out of position. Personally speaking, I got no left foot. I'm very, very, very right-footed, which makes me very predictable. And don't give me all this nonsense about inverted wingers. I mean, I still don't understand why you play Gareth Bale on the right. That's just weird. That'd be like playing Ryan Giggs on the right. That's nuts. Or don't make any sense to me. But yeah, I was played completely out of position, and it was kind of a square peg round hole kind of scenario. That this manager had his favourites. He had his mates in, and because we work for the same company, all the managers got put in straight away. Absolutely. I don't know if he thought he was improving his career in the company, but for me, it wasn't right. It really, really wasn't right, and for me, it did sour it. But I overlooked that fact that we did very, very well in the tournament. In fact, we managed to get to the final and lost on penalties to a German team. England beaten by Germany on penalties. I mean, there's an annoying air of destiny in that, of history repeating itself. But I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. Just being a part of it. I mean, I went out there with expectation to play. That didn't really transpire because of one person, but I didn't want that to sour my enjoyment of it. The after show awards was absolutely brilliant. They had this traditional sort of what is it when they like dance around and slap stuff and lederhosen, and that was absolutely fantastic. Food, absolutely amazing, absolutely brilliant. I mean, that was great. I mean, I'm partial to a good Wiener Schnitzel. I absolutely love the stuff, and there was loads of it, and Maltaschen. If you've never eaten either of those things, I strongly advise go check out Wiener Schnitzel and Maltaschen. You will not be disappointed. It is delicious. But I've got to be honest, there was a twinge of it, which I ended up getting absolutely blind drunk in the sort of evening, was that I didn't feel, I mean, we got a trophy for coming runners up, for coming second. I didn't feel I deserved it. I felt a bit put out on the sidelines sort of thing, because as even with like some jobs, your face just doesn't fit. I went there to enjoy myself, and I did enjoy myself. It's just that from a sports perspective, it was kind of ruined by one guy. This was a long time ago now. I think I would have been about 27, 28. You know, so I mean, yeah, it's all under the bridge. It's not like I'm stewing on it. I thought I'd just tell you a story that because we were the only English team there, and I did actually make 3 appearances. Technically, I've played for England. As ridiculous as that sounds, you ain't taking that away from me. But it was an experience. I mean, I went for the one the year after, which was in Germany, and again, it was actually even worse. I think I played 1 game, and then I pretty much got ignored the rest of the time there. But fortunately, I actually had friends in that subsidiary in Ditzingen, just outside of Stuttgart. So I just went and go spend time with them, because I think I see them very often though, because I'm in England, they're in Germany. So it was nice catching up with friends, because quite frankly, this one guy decided to just, I knew what was going to happen this time. I knew I was going to basically pay to go out there and just not play and just wear the kit basically, but had absolutely no chance of playing whatsoever. So at that stage, it was, I guess I treated it more like a holiday than an actual football tournament, because my heart wasn't in it the second time round, because I knew how much got mucked around the first time. So that sounds like a real sour note to what was actually a very enjoyable experience. But if you can't change something, what's the point in getting upset about it? But yeah, that was kind of my story. Thank you for listening. Not the most interesting one, and certainly, there wasn't actually a lot of footage of us playing, certainly of me playing, because the scarcity of minutes that I had, there's not going to be much opportunity for that. But it still makes a story. I'm still part of it, as much as one man didn't want me to be part of it. Sod him. And that was my story. It was it was cool. But if you got this far, as usual, thank you for listening. And yeah, thank you for carrying on supporting me. Brilliant. Have a good one. Stay safe in there. Don't go out. Save lives by just staying in, and let's just hope this horrid virus just doesn't spread any further. But stay safe, everyone. Peace out. Good night.